Ben and Jen apparently do not have a prenup, and that is absolutely wild. I want to give you an example of how a prenup should work and a way in which a person used it masterfully, as difficult as it was. So a prenup is something that people think are really for the ultra wealthy, and you're right, they're used a lot of times for people that are millionaires, billionaires, and they want to preserve wealth, have generational wealth, put money in trust for their kids, even if they're in a second or third marriage. But I really want you guys to get more comfortable with the concept of a prenup, a premarital agreement, even if it's your first marriage. Maybe you're in your 20s and you do have like a little retirement account, you've got some savings, or maybe you've received an inheritance. A prenup can be for you. It's not necessarily saying to your spouse you don't think your guys are going to last as a marriage when you ask for a premarital agreement. It's really about protecting your assets and making sure you have options. And remember, if you get married to this person that's the love of your life after you sign a premarital agreement and you want to throw the whole thing out, you absolutely can. That's called a postmarital agreement. So it's not like you're stuck forever under the terms of the premarital agreement. But while you guys are getting to know each other, especially if you haven't been dating for very long and you're rushing into marriage, which is awesome, love's a beautiful thing. You have that right. That's like this beautiful freedom that we give you here. You could get married to whoever you want for any reason. But let's say you don't know each other for very long. It's a really great idea to get a premarital agreement in place. And let's say after 3 or 4 years, if this is the love of your life and you feel real bad about that premarital agreement, you could always tear it up or revise it with the help of an attorney. So I want you guys to demystify this concept and think of it more as an empowerment tool. It gives you more options. You're empowered later on in your marriage and you have more options if it isn't working out, or even if it is working out. So an example of how this premarital agreement was used expertly was recently by Kelly Ben-Simon, that Real Housewives of New York. She called off her wedding because he wouldn't sign the prenup. I mean, that is a tough move. That is so hard for people to do. But guess what? She wins the award of the bravest woman of the year by doing that, because that's exactly what a premarital agreement is designed to do. If your spouse won't agree to the things you want to do with your money that you had coming into marriage, you have the option to not marry them. If a person doesn't want to agree to things that you feel are fair, then you have to ask yourself, why not? Is there an ulterior motive in this marriage? In this case, this Real Housewife was very, very wealthy. This might have been her second or third marriage. He was wealthy too, but maybe not as wealthy as she was. And so it's really tough for her to call that wedding off. And I'm not suggesting that that's what you do if you can't reach an agreement with your spouse. You just work it out. You keep hashing it out. That's typically what we do. But she called it, and that's so brave. And I want you guys to know that that is the ultimate end game of a premarital agreement. If someone refuses to sign it, you don't have to get married to them. Or instead, you could say, let's table this marriage and really work on this together until we get to a place where we feel comfortable signing this. So don't get stuck and don't be scared. Premarital agreements are empowering devices, and when used to the extreme, they're very protective. So I hope this helps, and I hope you can consider this for a friend or a loved one that's considering getting married, because it's so important.